Welcome back, everyone. This is Winter Solstice 8, 41 Solstice 25, and I am logging in on the Storm server. And you probably already noticed something, specifically this. My town exists. It is technically on a map, but there is some technical difficulties yet. As you can see, as I go this way a little more into certain parts, I still see the Lysurgia border show up. So my town technically exists, but Lysurgia is still in the area and not fully unclaimed. Other than that, some of the other new things about, I have emptied this place mostly out. There is likely going to be a few things new added in here at some point once I really decide more how to tie it together. Like, I'm thinking some form of like a seating and furniture, and maybe like a little more of like a crowd area and like some bookshelves and such. And I would like to expand it in that direction. Other than that, I was thinking around here in this general location specifically, I was thinking I would probably change how this is presented, as well as how this is, maybe even relocate this. And also off camera, I have gotten some horses, or my horse back. Like, let me just show you how good this horse is. It is a horse I should have had back a long time ago, but just sort of didn't. It is pretty decently fast, and it jumps like a beast. Like, that's 4.5 blocks right there, and it jumped it. That's how good of a horse this is. And look at those hearts. Pretty decent altogether. I'm very happy with that, and recently I had another exploration. I'm kind of missing my boots, but I have gotten diamond armor out of this exploration, and put it on my horse. Diamond horse armor, I should be clear. I've also gotten iron horse armor out of that, as well as technically golden. I've given away about one of those. Yeah, it has been a lot of stuff I've been doing off camera, though I can't do anything too crazy and major in the immediate area simply because of the remaining claimed lands of Lysurgia. So that is a major technical disadvantage, and it does make my life much harder to situate everything around and about. So don't expect me to have too much new around and about until then, simply because if it's Lysurgia border, like, let me just demonstrate this. Lysurgia border, can't break anything, and can't place anything. And these borders are a decent amount of few places, like there, someplace in that direction that interferes with my ability to place, or even make potions for a decent amount. And I think someplace in that direction, there's only a few of them, but they are in the most ominous of locations, aside from being right down straight in the middle. But still, it is kinda annoying and trouble. I have like this work in progress mountain over there. That is still work in progress. It's taking a ton of stone. Thousands upon thousands of stone blocks. Yeah, I've also used up one of these to aid a person on the server who lost all their stuff. That's exactly what this was intended for, because I am a bro. So if it's ever like probably too much trouble to the point where I'd be like, let's not drag the mods into this, I'm just gonna be a total friend. Then that's what these are basically for. So yeah, that's cool. Then over here, I have taken the time to situate these here to sort of add to the, it's a firework workshop kind of place. And there's probably going to be like a few times you're going to like need to contain where things are being processed through for safety reasons. Maybe like add a little water in those. And it would also like aid with the fact that this has been doubling as my not firework workshop. It is a firework workshop, but it also doubles as the, oh, excuse me, a banner workshop, simply because of similar components that are used. Actually, let me, just make sure he knows that I've seen it and I'm not ignoring him. But, yeah. I also kind of have these there. I forget if these were here previous video or not. I try not to look back on my own videos and be like aiding up the views or anything. Like, I don't want to do that. It's one thing if I'm like going back there to reply to comments and such. Like, I feel that's a lot more acceptable and respectable. Because like the way YouTube is set up, it will, if it's like a really fresh comment, it will just sort of drag you there to like, in order to reply to it. In which case, that can't be helped. It's like, why do you do this? Why can't I just simply respond to it from wherever on YouTube? Like, I would like the ability to do that if it's on my own video. So, yeah. And ultimately, a friend of mine, Lexmine, has given me... actually, who is online? My friend Lexmine has given me a beacon and helped me get situated with like the blocks for a beacon base, but there's an issue to where I cannot set it up to where I desire it to be, simply because... claimed land. Let me tell you, it is one of the most annoying things in the world when you can't, place or break anything on your own home territory. So yeah, there's also been a decent amount of chest reorganization all over my base. Like, I've gotten my wood supply shoved in here. I basically just didn't want my base to become a remainder of what's sort of like a closet equivalence. Like, there was a chest here, if you recall. There was a chest here, and like here, more like here and here, as well as an aquarium. I figured the aquarium was a little too much here for what I would like to repurpose this as, the Asterism Town Hall, which I believe is a more noble ideal than just situating it as just like a workstation sort of thing, and it will add more to the feeling that this is a town. As you probably noticed, I got rid of the umbrella over there by the chair, and I set it right here. Now, my thoughts to this: if I want this to feel more like a town rather than just a home, I would want it to be comfortable about really anywhere, not just by my immediate area. So I'm going to slowly be trying to move this stuff to more ideal locations. I don't have my sword, which actually isn't too big of a problem because I do have a spare, I thought. Or maybe I lost that too. In which case, it is actually quite the problem. And I think it was a looting sword. So that's just going to take a little sorting out to figure out what to really do about. Right side, most of my picks seem to be here. Slash backpack. Oh, slash backpack. Nope, not there. So yeah, that's going to need some recovering or working back my way up to, I guess. Actually, I wonder if I got anything here for one peek at visiting. Nope. Like I still have this on me. But there is something else kind of different about. Like, I'll just sort of show you it. It's actually not too much of a problem. Yeah, it's not a problem. At least not yet. Until I'm like actually more concerned about griefers and such. My smeltery charcoal production area has earned a few security enhancements in protocol. So that is sort of an improvement, but at the same time I have a few mixed feelings about this. Like, I'd rather I didn't have to come to this, but after realizing that anyone can really like going into it and like really grab it and not really have a second thought about it, I realized I kind of do actually want a security thing for it evaluated into my base. And likewise, I have hidden a button somewhere specifically to keep it protected. I'm not going to show you or really tell you where this button is, but know it is about and it exists. Oh, and I also did a bit of redecorative decisions on this place. I have added some prismarine bricks. Prismarine bricks? Yeah, these are the bricks. Around and about to the walls of this to add a little more arch. Not exactly arch. A little more structure, more correctly to say. Kind of wanted to say arch just because it's pretty structural, but no, these are just sort of structural stuff. And I'm also going to try to incorporate this a little better into it, as well as some of the other prismarine to make it a little less tacky looking with how it goes from this blue to that blue, preferably. So rest assured, it's not done yet, but at the same time, it's not too bad to look at, but it is a little too harsh on the eyes to me. I've also incorporated some of this here, so I've been working a little toward the prismarine farm, or work in progress prismarine farm I should say, on the server. And yeah, I would say it's going pretty decently, but it is a lot of work if you're doing it alone. To some extent I haven't been doing it alone, but at the same time I've been doing the most work to it. So I have also been sort of thinking maybe there's something back here I should want to add into the base of sorts. I'm not sure what yet. Some kind of hidden expansion perhaps. I have a number of ideas as to how I could go about this. I want to do it as sneaky and as effective as I can, and it will it will make me happier. I will say it like that. It will make me happier. And that in turn will be cool and give me a little more hiding space of things. But if I do include such a thing, I will sort of try my best to conceal however it is it opens or is used by myself. Sort of keep that information to myself. And I'll probably just end up cutting those parts from the future videos and just like do cuts from one end to the other. But here's why I don't consider this like complete with the security thing, because there's actually this back door here, and this is basically where all my stuff is. Like my mushroom blocks, my random valuable blocks, prismarine and stones. That. And my quartz supply. And immediately some of you are already thinking, whoa, that's a lot of quartz. Should probably ask you if I can have some. Don't even try it, pal. Don't even try it. I'm probably gonna need all that quartz. I mean, you've seen how much blocks I go through. I'm probably going to need that quartz. And that's not even, like, me being selfish. It's probably true. I'm probably going to need that quartz. So, yeah. That's a decent amount of what's kind of new around my base. Actually, let's double check if I covered everything else. Because I did add a desk in here now. There's left side mouse. Actually, I think I have covered this. I might have added these on camera. Much because I can probably ignore this, but that's just about it. So that... Oh. It's hard for me to say when I have actually showed that because I showed it to a decent amount of people, really. So it's a little too hard to truly say. And there are a few new graves here. And this one couldn't get finished because it was in an area I just couldn't do anything in at the time. And kind of still can't do. This is what happens when I PvP. There's always going to be a lot of deaths on both ends. And this reminds me, I need to add a thing here. Grab 2 of these, 1 of these, and 1 of these. We're gonna be doing a fresh grave on camera. Okay, and this here, so people know this is of death. Actually, okay, that was correctly on there. For a second there, I thought I was putting it on the gravel. Okay. Here lies Solstice. Was ripped apart in Vash's grinder. Yeah, that's a great way to do that one. So yeah, that's basically my most recent death, which was basically last night. I was terribly laggy, there were so many zombies. They all just like fell out of it and just I was dead pretty quickly. I had no idea what was happening. I don't even know where my swords went. I had like 2 of them. 2 enchanted swords. And yeah, I'm not too thrilled about that part. But yeah, I would say that's basically what's new around my base. So it's been mostly organizing, inventory management, item recovery, keeping things as under control as best as I can while managing like my food. And I've been doing another thing. I actually have a title now on the server. I actually have 2 different titles I can choose between. I have engineer and I have what's it called? Spellcaster. Actually, I think I might have others. ST titles list. Oh, and I have Nether Explorer. Yeah. I hear you there, but I don't have a sword to butcher you. Which is a bit of a problem for me personally. I'm just gonna lure you here, and once you're around by my door, you will despawn. Unless you just lost track of me. You probably lost track of me. Look at this asshole. He's hanging out in my... No, I'm not having this, pal. So yeah, that is a decent amount of what is new for me. I've also been doing a lot of projects for other people, mainly Redstone. From hidden doors to advanced functionality. And one time in Starvationville, I was helping with a bit of landscaping. Because, you know, I do that a lot. It's like, why not? It's actually kind of fun to landscape because aside from using tools, a lot of what you use for landscaping is right there in front of you. But I'm going to be right back. Okay, so I figure since I haven't really done a whole lot with you guys on camera as to like my actual like doing things around and about, I will just sort of like give you guys a general idea as to what I kind of do to kind of situate some of this stuff. So I would move torches, and whenever I go up a thing where a torch was previously on, replace the torch to like one layer up, and just continue with my building things up. I would try to fill in some of this extra space with my materials, and I would start as earlier on in an in-game day as I can, so I can make better use of like my resources and such without getting completely harassed by mobs. Because that just makes it really hard to actually work with, a lot more difficult, and maybe even undoable to some extent. So that's basically how I've been trying to operate of the sort. And for the most part, it goes pretty well. But it does take a considerable amount of time. So there is still that. That is still a thing. It is very much real, and it is very time consuming. So yeah, there is definitely that. Other than that, it isn't too particularly difficult, as much as it's like a matter of trade of thought and just like having the resources for it. So if you're concerned how it's going to look in the meanwhile, you can always just sort of like do it in a certain way that goes well with the presentation, like kind of like how I'm doing, where it's like it has like some of this sort of natural roundness to it, kind of retained as you go at it. And I think that really keeps it in presentation and more depictable as of what it is and what it's kind of about, which is cool. So yeah, so if you're ever concerned about how a project is looking in the meantime while it's not done yet, don't ever let that get the best of you at all, because it's not gonna be, if it's massive, it's not necessarily going to be done in one day. It's going to take a little while, but if you really care about how it's looking until it's done, you can always do some of this little stuff just to kind of ease it in your comfort zone, and it does you a lot of good mentally and keeps you refreshed for working on it later. And yeah, I didn't mean to set this there, by the way. Or at least not yet. Likely it's going to be at least that tall later, but I didn't intend to set that there. yet, but yeah, we can leave it there for now. It doesn't actually matter, but I do have like a bit of like a OCD building thing where it's like, if it's not anywhere close to where I would want it to be looking like, it's probably going to distract me from how I want to be looking at it, so I will usually like to sort of resolve that as soon as I physically can. And then I will keep my trait of thought of working process at this, and it will usually turn out for the better, I think. It keeps me clear of distracting conscious thoughts like, oh, this looks so ugly with that right there. So yeah, I will kind of do a few small stuff just for my own sanity, just to get things done. For the most part, I don't normally record this kind of thing because it is extraordinarily grindy work, because it is a ton of use of resources, and it's going to take more than just a few trips and hours and hours and hours of block placing. So I try not to do that kind of thing on camera, just to make sure it's not too much, especially in the video, for what is actually worth in recording process, as like showing versus getting people into your own mindset of what you've been kind of up to and where you would like to kind of take it to, where you're kind of comfortable with leaving it at, versus what just sort of ended up happening. Kind of, it's kind of hard to explain, but there's many layers to it. It's kind of like ogres. There's many layers, okay? Listen to Shrek, kids. Listen to Shrek. But yeah, there's that where you're kind of not showing as much as to how it's actually done and put together. But if you do record afterwards, you can just sort of go over and give some of that mentality as to what you had in mind and what you're kind of planning, without the pressure of like knowing a ton of people are watching you or something. But at the same time, I think it's fun to kind of like let people see that kind of mind state of yours take off and just like try its own things like on camera and such. But yeah, it's time consuming. And when it comes to certain amounts of time and programs recording it, so like their formats and how compact the quality is inside those like recording files, will also usually make the recordings quite larger in file size, which also makes them take quite a bit longer to upload. But usually for me, most of the video has taken, I would say, is probably 11 hours. So it's also a matter of finding the ideal time where it's like you're not too busy to want to prevent yourself from uploading. And so if you're ever wondering like why I don't upload quite as much, and I say I like enjoy doing this kind of stuff, that's kind of why. Like, it's mostly the upload thing and what I think is probably a little more ideal quality to like upload and show you guys. Like, I don't want to give you guys like total shit, like total crap in presentation. I want to give you guys the best that I personally can present that's worth like my own name to me. I don't want to just like give you something and be like, oh yeah, I did this, and it's basically crap. I would feel bad because you watched it. Like, it went into your time. So, yeah, there is basically that kind of stuff that goes through my head as to when I'm actually going to upload anything or not. And a lot of this stuff that I've been doing as of late has been particularly small, which is why I haven't really uploaded much, because it's so small that I don't feel like it was too worthwhile to actually kind of upload. It'd basically be making you watch what I consider to be a lower quality for me personally, and I don't like that thought. So I try to keep things a little more engaging, a little more interesting, not too pathetic to my own personal tastes. Like, if it's not to my own standard, then I don't think it's probably to yours neither. Yep. Realistically, it doesn't matter if that's derped up specifically right there or not, but yeah. I suppose we can set that there. Yeah, I think it kind of goes to show that I'm kind of like an artistic type doing this kind of stuff. I like to think a little more professional, like a little more proper handling of things. And like just doing it what I think is a little more correct to do of it. Correct presentation and etc. And as you can see, I'm just going through block after block after block like candy. So this does take a considerable amount of time, and likewise takes several trips back and forth and back and forth. And of course I need to get several hundred more stacks of smooth stone just to do this. So I don't think that's exactly the most ideal thing. Okay then. So I don't think that's the most ideal thing in the world for showing you guys versus what I think is worth showing. Like, part of why I started like doing videos with like Minecraft is to like kind of like show you guys what I've been like interested in doing, and like some of the mentality that goes into it, and help keep the inspirations alive, and like some of the building side of Minecraft. Like personally, like I don't think photos, like pictures, 2D images of a 3D point of view really works very well. It's one thing if it was done from a 2D perspective of a 3D ideal, like made in a 2D perspective by hand or something. That's something totally different. That's by a person's set of skills of what they want to try to portray in such an image of sorts, and likewise it will handle quite differently. Yes, one shot. That will actually save me some aggro, I believe. Like, one of the hardships about being an artist when you're doing Minecraft stuff, let me tell you, is that it's hard to portray it more perspectively. Okay, you guys, in wrapping up of this video, let me just sort of recap over what's basically been going on and what I'm going to be kind of doing. So I'm kind of ditching the modded survival thing simply because, well, for starters, there's a bit of a lack of feedback parts aside from maybe a few questions on like people who want to like maybe who like keep asking if I like have a server or something, or what mods I'm using. And then then I've just been having the lack of modded thing anyway, simply because I have no like ultimate goal out of it so far. Like, normally with Minecraft, it's like you make your own goal. But with modded Minecraft, it's like it adds on to the regular experience, and ideally it should play the same, but half the time it feels like you need to find like a more real goal about it, and half the time I don't really feel that in the modded Minecraft. So I do intend to like make the Waglington statue, but I might just do it in creative mode, single player or something. Unless if you guys like really want me to like do that as like the last thing I do for like the modded stuff, which is perfectly fine. I think I have the materials for it just about. Or I probably have to do like one more trip. But yeah, it also I also have some technical difficulties like recording that anymore. So it really doesn't do me much good to like try to keep it up because it's just more and more difficult as it increases. So there's that. My town isn't complete, and it is going to really be taking a lot of shaping up of sorts. So there's a lot of that really in high hopes for me to begin to. In fact, I definitely do not intend to ditch that kind of project unless if I'm just purely unable to. I think that zombie sees me. Actually, okay. But anyway, something else I want to get out, and this is today happens to be the 4th of July, which is hopefully when this is going to be done and uploaded by. So, happy 4th of July, USA. As a person from Michigan, which is like the northern part of the US of North America. Like, I feel like that's something I should probably like get out if I have the chance to. Though, unfortunately, I did not do a patriotic skin. I feel like I should have, but I just sorta didn't even think of doing that. I had a number of other things on the brain and a lot of projects in mind to try to keep up with, and there comes another zombie, and I'm out of arrows. Fantastic. Please stop following me, zombies. Anyways, yeah, happy 4th of July. That's a little slower than I expected it would be. It's not too bad, but yeah, happy 4th of July, folks. See you guys next time, and if there's anything you want to see me build, let me know in the comments. I'm perfectly fine with that kind of stuff. As long as it isn't like too long of a video or too much trouble to like show you guys, and like probably like too much for you to stand watching. Like, I don't want to bore you or anything. So yeah, it's got to be in standard. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye bye.